A very good morning to all. I take privilege to welcome you all for this webinar titled Financial Literacy, conducted by Department of Training and Placement, Dhanraj Bait Jain College. My extreme heartfelt thanks to our management, President Sri Dayachand Garu, Savansuka, and our Secretary and Admin, Dr. Harishal Mehta, and Secretary and Finance Sri Jashwant Munod Garu, Professor in charge Dr. M. Shaktivel Murugan Sir, Principal Dr. M. Sendil Raj, and Placement Convener Dr. Jagdishan. So I'm hearty welcome to all. On behalf of management, I welcome our chief guest, Mr. Francis Felix, for our webinar session. So Mr. Francis Felix, a retired bank manager with the experience of 17 years, a finance manager for 3 years with a property management company, 14 years with ICICI Prudential Life Insurance, 3 years with Disha Trust as financial counselor, a year with ICICI Foundation for Inclusive Growth, and overall experience of 38 years in total. I once again welcome you, sir, for this knowledge enrichment session to share your rich experience exclusively for our DB Jain students. I request Mr. Francis Felix to take over the session. Sir, please, sir.
Yes, madam. Thank you very much. Good morning to one and all. I take in intense privilege and utmost happiness to have a session with your college. In fact, a year ago I had been a session with your college. It was very good actually. After that, I'm coming back. The main highlight of the session is, the topic is financial literacy or financial awareness. In Tamil, it's called Nidhi Vidipunarvan, they say. The financial literacy and financial awareness is the order of the day. The main reason why I'm telling you, now we are in the midst of the COVID-19 and a lot of things happening across the country. So we need this particular awareness at this juncture. All of you, I know you have a bank account with you, and the bank account must have taken by your parents or your students, or you itself might have taken it. But that bank account, what you are holding, is an account which you have to hold, not account which you are holding. You can't carry for a very long time. If it's a single account, that has to have certain modification in the middle. Once a stage has gone for you, that is once you start working, that single account has to be modified into an account called either or survivor account. When it's an either or survivor account in your bank account, there is a clause to be added. It's called nomination. Nomination, why this is very important, I'm telling you. As you know, as when you are entering the bank account itself, you would have entered the nomination, most of you. But in case that updation is not done, please do it at this juncture. The reason is actually the person who's making the savings in his account on a regular basis. In case anything happens to that account holder, what happens is the money gets locked out in the bank. The money gets locked out in the bank, and to retrieve the money from the bank, there is a very stringent process. Especially this is happening with a public sector bank. In public sector bank or any bank for that matter, in case there is no nomination in your bank account, the first thing they ask you to get a survival certificate from the court. And the survival certificate has to be notarized. That's second thing. The third thing, you should give two witnesses of your, not your relatives, but your family friends whom you know actually. And after that, you have to give the death certificate. It takes about 35 days for the money to retrieve. So if you have a nomination, it will get over within 7 to 15 days. That's the time given for the thing. So my kind advice to people in the dais, if you are not updated your nomination, please do it. Because now it's COVID-19 situation, we really don't know, anything can happen at any time. So that is the reason why I'm telling you the nomination is a very important aspect as far as the bank is concerned. The second point I want to tell you is your ATM debit card. This ATM debit card is very important now. It's only a plastic many people think, but the plastic has certain value in it. What is that value? I'll tell you. It has a 4-letter password, which is called PIN number, personal identification number. It's a 4-letter password. 60% of people in Chennai, they say it is PIN code. So I have corrected a lot of people actually. This is my personal experience. So that 4-letter password is called personal identification number. On the reverse of the card, a place to sign, where you have to sign, it is called, you have to sign compulsory. Next to that, there is a 3-letter password it's called a CVV number, which is a secret number, It should not disclose to anybody. So that is a 3-letter password. When you do any transaction to your mobile, a OTP is there. The OTP is
So அதனால இந்த இது பேங்க் ஃபுல்லா எப்போ ஆபரேட் பண்றதோ அந்த டயத்துல நீங்க வச்சுக்கோங்க சார். அது 21 நாளுக்கு முன்னாடி நோட்டீஸ் அதெல்லாம் இருக்கு. அது பழைய டேட்ல போட்டுக்கலாம். பட் அந்த பேங்க் ஃபுல் ஆபரேஷன் வர டயத்துல நீங்க பண்ணிக்கோங்க. சரி 15 தேதி வரைக்கும் பார்த்துட்டு அதுக்கப்புறம் நம்ம பேங்க் இப்போ ஃபுல்லா ஆபரேஷன் வந்துருக்குன்னா அதுக்கு அக்கௌண்ட் புதுசா ஓபன் பண்ணி அவகிட்ட பர்மிஷன் வாங்கி அந்த அக்கௌண்ட் நேம் வந்த அப்புறம் அந்த டெபாசிட்
விஜய்க்கும்
அதை நான் போட்டு அனுப்புறேன். நான் ஒரு 2 நாள்ல பண்ணிட்டு 40% டிக்ளேர் பண்ணுவேன்.
Somewhere there's a cross call.
Yes, sir. Just a minute.
Now it's okay?
Yeah, sir. You can continue.
Okay. So that any transaction which you do in a bank, you get a OTP. It's called one-time password. That is called a 6-letter password. And after that, there is an expiry date in your card, which is a 4-letter password. All this combination comes to 17-digit number. And that 17-digit number is very important, especially for people like using the debit card. At any point of time, people calling you that I'm calling from the bank, you have a loan, your card is problem, this, etc. All the stories which they come in through the mobile or a telephone. Please do not give all those details. If you happen to give those details, next 20 minutes, the money is going away. Yesterday, I got an information that people started using this through an IVR. The bank has an IVR system, inner voice recorder. One of the person has got a call from somebody asking him that, have you got your credit card or a debit card, your bank statement regularly? I think in a credit card, you get that reward points, I think. Even in your debit card or whatever bank account, I think they give some reward points, I think. This person said, I could not do the reward points. The reason is, since it's a COVID time, I could not go outside. The lady the other side saying that we can do through an IVR. IVR is inner. What is this IVR? When you call a call center or city, any card center or anybody, the people in the card division ask you to validate your password through an IVR. When you key in the password, the person on the other side cannot see that. But this lady was telling that particular person, you do through the IVR. This man got really that bright spark in his idea. There is somebody is dragging me to a different level. So immediately he said, I don't have the card, I'm having it with my brother. So for that matter, the lady already thrashed him with all abuse language. In fact, so this kind of thing is happening in the city. So try to be careful with your debit card and a credit card if you have. That's one thing. Number 2 is any call coming from abroad with a plus number. Try to be very careful. There are people calling with a plus number also, taking all the details what I have just now said. You get an email with a job offering, with an appointment order, and saying I'll deposit some money. Try to be very careful. Don't just blind to deposit money and just lose something. As far as possible, try to it may be a fake email. There is an email where he is saying I have a lot of property and everything. If you could help me in Chennai to because it's a COVID situation, to give all this charity business, you be a part of it. I'll give you 40,000 rupees. So don't go carried away by this email also. That is also there. Another thing, your online shop. This online shopping and money transfer, try to do from your recognized website or online from your mobile, please do not any other means. Also, your password, at least once a year, please change it. Don't keep it for a password given by the bank. Don't carry that. And also your mobile. If you update your mobile number, please intimate the bank, because the future is going to be your mobile is the bank. So this is, I want to put forth to your people also. Another thing, there is a Visa Master. Visa Master is a logo. It's a franchise given in a credit card or a debit card. And the RuPay card is an Indian version. There are people calling from there also for asking for all this card details. And please do not get carried away. That is also there. Another thing, when you in your ATM machine, when you are drawing money and the money is coming with a burnt or torn or destroyed, previously you used to, what happened, you used to go to the bank and just change it. But now the rule is you have to show it in the camera with a slip and then go to the bank and then only change it. Then only the cashier will change it, because a lot of fictitious money are floating across the country. So that is the reason why I'm telling you. Another thing, when you are actually in your ATM drawing cash, somebody is coming with a knife. What is the first thought process you have to do? You have to come out and save your life. That is the thing you have to do. Go to the nearest police station, take an FIR, and automatically file a complaint immediately within 15 days, because the entire thing is covered by general insurance company. So within 15 days, automatically your money is reimbursed. This is some points I want to share with you as far as the ATM safety is concerned, and also your nomination. Now, all these young people who are in this college at present are going to see the real world in a few months' time. So that is a situation when he comes. You're going to be settled with a good job and a good salary package also. That is what I pray to God. So that with that, what happened is, once you start working, always when your salary comes on, you may have certain ideas, certain vision in your thought process. But in your thought, there is whatever money you receive, you cannot spend it all, everything like that. You should have some planning. That is called a financial planning. Why this financial planning is very important? The reason is, the financial planning is very important is, one day goes means your age also increases, lifespan increases. The second one, those days we had a joint family system. The joint family system is not now. What is this joint family system? The person in the family will be an eldest one, and after that there will be people in the family. Anything happens, good or bad, the family joins together, bring him out of it. Like that, now it's a nuclear family. In a nuclear family, you can't have, it's only husband, wife, kid. Survival is so difficult. That is the idea behind now actually. So another thing, when you join work, you get a salary, is also a very good salary you get actually. What happens is, the saving habit people don't inculcate. So automatically they postpone the savings for a later period of time. So that is the reason why there is always an uncertainty in life. So you have to do this financial planning for these other reasons. Now, what are the fundamentals you have to take care? The fundamentals are, it should be a discipline. What is the discipline? When you join work, you start a recurring deposit account. You put some money into it. Just like that, you should not go out, come back to that account after 2-3 years. The discipline means month-on-month basis, for a year at least you should continue, so that you can enjoy the principal and interest accordingly. That is discipline and determination. That determination means, in Tamil they say kuriko. The determination is you have to carry on. And then with that you should have a budget also. What is a budget? Income versus expenditure. You should have a budget of your income also. After that, you should start early. What start early means, at the age of 27, 28, that period, or 30, you should start early. Not I will do it only by 46 means you will, in your life, half the bus you miss actually. So for that matter, after 46, everything is a problematic for you, because by the time 55, your retirement comes. So that is the reason why I'm telling you, start early. And with that, you should have your financial goal. What is this financial goal? The financial goal can be a short-term goal, a medium-term goal, a long-term goal. Short-term goal. Once I start working, automatically what happens? Money comes first. You have all your priorities and everything. I want to take a two-wheeler. or a two-wheeler of a medium nature. That two-wheeler, you can go through a earnest money installment route, pay a down, there is a down payment to be made. That down payment, I advise people to save it. Before that, I want to tell you, the global economists have told a person who started working has to do 20% for a saving on a month-on-month basis. So from the 20%, you save, pay the down payment, and then take the two-wheeler, and the remaining will go with the EMI actually. This is the thing as far as the short-term goal is concerned. This medium term, I've been working for 2.5 years. I want to take a vacation from my work. How will you plan? You have to plan it when you want to take a vacation. For that, you have to use this 20% and start. So automatically, your 20% travels with you right through your life. That's a very important thing you have to remember. The long term, I'm staying in a rented house. I want to build a house in my neighborhood where I have a land of my own. I can take a loan and do this thing. But the problem is now, if I start planning and put that 20% into the saving habit, by the time period when I want to build the house, I can start building the house. So short term, medium term, long term, all three categories are getting knocked out of your priority. Then you should follow this power of compounding principle. Power of compounding principle is you should invest early, keep that money going for a longer period. And also you do not switch investment from one investment to another investment. For example, you put a money in a fixed deposit. Suddenly somebody says share market is doing well. You should not break that investment. 1% penalty will be taken away. Then when you enter a share market, if there is any problem, you may lose money there also. So try to be very careful. As far as the power of compounding principle say, the money should be kept for a longer period. That is the idea behind. As far as income, when you receive your income, you should think about your savings first, not the expenditure. Not actually how people save is, and normal people who handle finances in this way, income minus expenses is equal to he doesn't have anything in hand. Few people who have no financial control, like all this loans, everything they carry, income minus expenses, they have a debt right through the life. Most responsible people handle finances, income minus expenses is equal to savings. But some disciplined people, there is a discipline in your financial planning should be there. Income minus savings is equal to expenditure. That is the thing I want to tell you. What are the key concepts of a financial planning? You should have a regular saving, regular investing. Regular saving is the habit. Investing is the practice what you do on a regular basis for your future. And also the inflation. The cost of living index, the inflation, you should try to put your savings over that. That is the idea, that is beating the inflation. And also some people do it for tax purposes. As you go on in your career, there are period when your income is also to be taxed, for which you have to do some savings. So that is the reason I'm telling you saving for tax purposes. And also the risk factor in your savings, you should also take care of it. And you should also study the historical return of wherever you are putting your saving, and also mix both risk and return as far as possible. Now, people go in normally in everyday's life, they take some risk as far as the investment is concerned. When you put in stock, an equity market, that is stock market, it falls sharply. Fixed income group, that is your fixed deposit and other fixed income, wherever is there. If you put that money, the inflation has to be taken care. And I want to put it in real estate. You can't judge the real estate because like stock market, it fluctuates also. Gold, it is speculative. You don't know when price will go up, when will price will come down also. Insurance, you have to take it early. If you delay it, the cost is more. And if you keep I don't want to go for any kind of investment. I want to keep money and enjoyment. It will eat the inflation, the cost of living actually will eat up. So what they say, asset class offering higher returns is always a red flag. Any asset class, wherever you have interest somebody is giving interest at 18%, 19%, don't go jump and put your money into it. You should have, if such kind of thing, always a danger for people. This is the thing I want to tell you as far as the financial planning is concerned. Now, with the financial planning, there is another thing we have to take care for you. Once you start earning, there are a lot of people will call you. It is from the bank side. They will say that I will give you free credit card, I'll give you free loans, I'll give you this facility, that facility. So automatically what happened, people get attracted and get into that thing as far as the loan bracket is concerned. So once they start taking loan, they come into a purview of an organization called CIBIL, Credit Informative Bureau India Limited, CIBIL. This organization, August 2005, came into India. Earlier it was TransUnion CIBIL actually, TransUnion CIBIL. And these people, what is their idea is, all people who take loans and advances across the country, their loans and advances are monitored on a regular basis, and they give expert advice to the bank people. That is the whole idea of it. They give expert advice and say whether this person is genuine, he can grant loan, for which there is certain parameters which you should follow. Normally what happens is, CIBIL on each individual carries a score between 300 to 900. 300 to 900. For a person who has not taken a loan so far, he has not taken, this is the first time he is going to take a loan, or he has not taken a loan, how CIBIL values him as NA, NA or NH. NA or NH, which means no credit history, no report on inquiry for loan, no loan sanctioned so far, no information on loan last 24 months. Then after that, the person gets into the loan bracket, say 6 months period, he keeps a tenure or something to repay the loan. That particular point, what happens is, automatically his score moves to 1:5. 1:5. 1 is high risk, 5 is low risk. That is what CIBIL has rated. Then he goes into other loan bracket also. Then what happens is, the score moves into 300 to 900. The person history is more than 6 months and individual history is less than 24 months. This is the category which they give for 300 to 900. Every score has an improvement has to be made from the people who are going into the loan. How to improve the CIBIL score? Whatever money, monthly EMI you pay, you should have a track on it, on your credit score. And also, some people have an old credit card also. That old credit card, you might have paid that, and and you paid and you want to close the credit card. If you are not closing the credit card, what happens is, it creates a history in the CIBIL category. It creates a history. So later date, when you go back into the loan, when you want to apply for a loan, the bank verifies a CIBIL record of yours. You have an history that you already paid, you have settled a credit card already, which is still there. So that history is there. So that is the reason, maintain old credit card to strengthen your credit history. After that, your credit score has to be, there is some limit is given on your credit. I try to have a low utilization. Don't straight away go in for a higher utilization of your loan. That's the thing. Avoid taking too much loans at one time. And also check your CIBIL score periodically. And if there is any mistake, try to rectify it. There is two kinds of loans, secure and unsecured loan. That secure loan is whatever housing loan you take is a secure loan. Other loan is unsecured loan. If you take both category loan, you should balance, but because of that, the CIBIL score has also been affected. How to control your CIBIL score? Do not pay whatever EMI on the late payment should not be there. And the secured and unsecured loan also should be monitored properly. And also, one card itself is not advisable credit card. But a person having a multiple card is always a risk factor. Understood? So credit card is one. When you start working, automatically what happens is you apply for a credit card based on your salary criteria, yearly salary package. The bank gives you a certain limit, and based on the limit, you can do a certain purchases to a particular category or particular period. Once the bill cut off, and they give a credit duration by which you have to pay back in full. This is what is credit card. And do not have a multi. Next one, avoid surety. What is the surety? See, the question is, once you start working, somebody may come, your good friend who is near to you, come and ask you, I have taken a loan in your bank. For which the bank manager needs a signature. Could you sign for you? So that, sign on behalf for me, so that I can take back the loan or with your help. Do not do that. Don't attest your signature. It is called surety. If you are doing that surety part of it, what happens is, until he pay back his loan fully. Actually, regarding this student education loan, I just want to give certain few points to people who are going in for any loan or something. The age criteria is given 18 to 35, and you should be continuing any graduation or post-graduation degree or PG diploma, and you should be affiliated with this UGC, AICTE or government thing. This is the criteria which they give for a student loan. And for a student loan, there should be a co-applicant should be there. That co-applicant can be a parent, or in case he is married and wants to study, his spouse can be. The limit, the loan amount is between 4 to 7.5 lakhs is given actually. And in case 7.5 lakhs, the person is going to take either a year or away from India, there is a collateral has been asked for all banks, they ask for a collateral. The repayment is 6 months to 1 year after completion of the course. And that what are the record documents you have to give? You have to give your 10 plus 12 mark sheet, entrance exam wherever you are going for a higher studies. That entrance exam results should, if published, it can attach also. And also that admission letter, what you got from that particular college or where, that also to be given. And in case your co-applicant, if he has taken any loan anywhere, that loan statement also to be given, and also passport size photograph has to be given. This is one thing. Number two is, and there is a margin especially given for up to 4 lakhs, there is no margin. But you go up above 4 lakhs, it is 5% the margin. In case you want to study abroad, there is a 15% margin by the banks taken. And also for example, he wants to study abroad. Without a collateral itself, you can take a loan. That is, for example, a person, he wants to take more than 7.5 lakh. Any member of the family can be a co-applicant to that particular loan person, and he has to give all his PAN card, Aadhaar card, ITR, voter ID, address proofs, and the sanction period is given for 15 days. ID, address proofs, ID, address proofs, ID, address proofs. Address
to say vote of thanks.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you very much.
So, very good morning again. I'm Sham Kumar, third year of BCom General. On behalf of D. Vision College, it was indeed a privilege to have Sir Francis Felix, Financial Education Counselor, ICICI Foundation for Inclusive Growth. His insightful lecture on financial literacy was full of wisdom and information. He shared with the student as a special updation of nomination for bank account CVV number, awareness of IVR ATM safety. Once again, I thank you, sir, for having spared your precious time for all of us. I express my profound gratitude to our management principal in charge, Dr. Shaktivel Murugan, sir, Department of Placement and Training for organizing such a thought-provoking session. Thank you all once again.